In this video, we explain our state-of-the-art frost alarm system, the best and most simple mobile frost alarm ever made, and unique because of its simplicity. When the temperature is critical in your orchard, the system will send a warning to your cell phone to start your protection system. Our alarm gives you the dry temperature, wind speed, air humidity, dew point, battery tension, and, most important, the wet temperature. Alarm systems with only a dry temperature registration are not an option anymore. They're useless. You need to get a warning on the wet temperature. The sensors are quite unique because they never need calibration. This table explains the difference between a wet and dry temperature. The left column contains the relative air humidity as a percentage. In the top row, you see the dry temperature. Where the horizontal line of the humidity crosses with the vertical line of the dry temperature, you'll find the wet temperature. An example: when you start up your frost protection system based on a dry temperature of 0 degrees Celsius, with a relative air humidity of 80%, the wet temperature is minus 1.1 degrees Celsius. When the air humidity is 50%, the wet temperature is already down to minus 2.9 degrees Celsius. In other words, your blossoms are already suffering from negative temperatures for 1 or more hours because you started up too late. And so your flowers are already damaged when you start up your system. Also important to keep in mind, protection systems that are working on phase transfer like our frost busters, our frost guards or sprinkler systems need to run about 30 minutes before they become effective. Once again, these machines are not just heaters. When you start up a sprinkler system, the temperature of the flowers will first drop 2 degrees during the first 30 minutes. This is why you have to start on time. There's no extra temperature drop, as with the sprinkler systems, when you start up the frost busters or frost guards. But you need to know that it also takes about 30 minutes before they produce enough energy to initiate the phase transfer process. Now you understand why a lot of growers start their protection systems too late. During the spring of 2017, we had a lot of frost in Europe with low humidity. 75% of the protection systems were started up too late because growers didn't see correct values on their dry temperature meters. The result? Enormous damage resulting in dramatic economic losses. So much for the physics class. Let's now proceed with the installation of the alarm. After you've connected the power and the temperature sensor, you can install the alarm in your orchard. Any regular 12-volt car battery can serve as power supply. With a 12-volt 45-amp battery, the alarm will run for about 4 to 5 weeks. The device is protected even if you connect it the wrong way. If the plus and minus are switched, it doesn't make any difference. It will not damage the device. Golden rule: before you put the SIM card into the alarm, make sure it's activated. Put the SIM in a cell phone and make a call to someone. Make sure the PIN code is activated and that the PIN code is not 0000. In the US and Canada, however, you need to activate the PIN code before you put the card into the alarm. You can activate this with your regular cell phone in Settings. When you connect the power for the first time, reset the device completely by pushing the 3 buttons simultaneously when connecting to the power. When the text "Reset All" appears, release the buttons and the device will start up. The alarm will tell you what to do. First, it will ask for the PIN code. The screen shows the standard PIN code. PIN code equals 0000. Under the first zero, an arrow will appear. Press the left button for plus or the middle button for minus to select the right digit. Press the right button, Enter, to confirm. The arrow will then move to the next digit. Do the same for the other figures. When you've entered all 4 digits, the screen will show PIN code OK. The PIN code remains in the memory and must only be reinstalled when you use another SIM card with a different PIN code. Once the PIN code is set, the alarm will not ask for it again during a future startup. Every time you start up the alarm by connecting the battery, the screen will ask if you want to configure the alarm. If you select Yes, you can change the alarm temperature by pressing the left plus button or the middle minus button. If you select No, the temperature will remain the same as previously set. The standard value is plus 0.5 degrees Celsius. The temperature is adjustable in steps of 1/10 of a degree. Press Enter when ready. The set temperature is always the wet temperature. The next thing we need to do is store the phone numbers that will receive the alarm messages. And this is what makes our alarm so special and easy to use. The screen will now ask you to set up the phone numbers and shows numbers set, yes or no. Select Yes to store numbers. To store number 1, the screen shows Setup number 1. Send SMS to the box with content N. So send the text N from the mobile phone that you want to store to the phone number of the alarm. The number will appear on the screen. Press Enter and hold it until you hear a signal and the number is stored. The screen will show number 1, OK. It's as simple as that. When your phone is the master number, you will receive the first message. If you send the letter R back within 90 seconds, the alarm stops sending messages. After setting the number 1, you can store number 2 and 3 in the same way. If the master number doesn't answer within 90 seconds, the alarm will send a message to the next stored number. If again there's no response within 90 seconds, it will send a message to the third number. If there's still no reaction, the alarm will again send a message to the first number. So, no response, next number, etc. In total, it will send 9 messages. That's 3 messages to each number. The info display provides all the necessary information. On the screen, you see the wet temperature, the dry temperature, the humidity, the dew point, the indication if the alarm is connected to the provider, the battery status, and the installed alarm temperature. Now, when you want to change the alarm temperature, you just disconnect the power. After a few seconds, connect the power again. The alarm will run through its program until you see PIN OK. Push Yes to configure, and when it asks to change the temperature, push Yes and reinstall a new value. Then push Enter. When it asks Install new numbers, push No. Once the temperature drops below the set alarm value, there's a delay of 3 minutes before the alarm sends its first message. During these 3 minutes, the temperature needs to be continuously under the set alarm value. This is quite important because sometimes the outside temperature fluctuates for a long time before it really drops below 0. You can request information from the alarm at any moment. When you send the letter I for info to the alarm, it will respond with the following data: the dry temperature, the wet temperature, the humidity, the dew point, the battery status, and the installed alarm temperature. As an option, there's a possibility to hook up a wind speed sensor to the device. If you send the letter W to the device, it will send back a text message with the wind speed. This device prevents stress during cold nights, and it ensures you can start up your protection system on time. In fact, when this alarm wakes you up, it really means time for action. If you're interested in buying our efficient alarm, just contact us. We ship worldwide.
Agrofrost, the ultimate form of frost protection.